Okay. So old business. We're going to recap 2025. We're going to give you some highlights of what steering group did. Whoops. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our member survey. So Meg is going to talk about what we did in 2025. We just actually went over this in events group.
You want me to time keep Vicki?
Sure.
Yeah, if you give me like 2 minutes and then 1 minute, that'd be great.
And she has 5 total.
I've got 5 total. And I'll start reading really fast at the end. So hi, I'm Meg, and I am on the events and campaign team. That's my primary contribution. And I facilitate our meetings and try and keep us on focus and on purpose. So I get the pleasure. Last night or a week ago, we developed in our campaigns, events and campaigns meeting, what did we accomplish? And it was so fun to just have all this stuff thrown, and I put it on the sticky sheet. And I'm looking at this list, and there's more here than we came up with.
I went through my pictures.
Yeah, so this, I'm gonna stumble over some of this stuff. So here we go. We created and organized ourselves. We established technology and communication infrastructure, email, the Slack platform, developed a logo, our website, social media accounts. We established a financial infrastructure with ActBlue and for distributed fundraising. We've grown to about 275 members and 1,800 contacts. We have monthly meetings now in a wonderful facility and on a regular day each month. That's, you don't know what an accomplishment that is. We have numerous work groups. I'm not going to try and mention them all. We've secured liability insurance for our regular meetings. Again, you have no idea what that took. And we have the space. We've participated in the demonstrations and events led and held by other kind of our compatriots in the struggle. The People's March in January, the NAACP Peace Walk in January, the Tesla takedowns weekly starting in February for almost a full year. And oh my God, was that successful. The Coalition to Stop Avelo, weekly, summer onward, and again, big success, not that we were all responsible for it. We did something on March 4th, which Vicki doesn't quite remember.
I don't know what it was. Maybe
It was, we did something
Women's
on March 4th. We did a stand up for science on March 7th. We participated in the May Day event and had a booth at that really large, great May Day gathering at the Capitol. We tabled regularly at the Saturday market. We demonstrated for the livability levy at the library this summer. Hands off the post office activities, Juneteenth, that was really fun. In June, we had a booth there and made lots of great connections. Ditto with Pride in the Park in September, had a booth, great connections. We marched, we had a contingent of Indivisible Salem marching in the Veterans Day Parade in Albany. I think there was 20 of us, and it was quite the experience. It was really great. A bunch of members participated in the Circular Salem's really free holiday market, which was awesome event.
Thank you, Felix.
And lots of more stuff we don't remember. So we organized 3 of the largest demonstrations in Salem's history. Yeah. We have a lot to be proud of. Hands off in April, No Kings in June, No Kings 2 in October, as well as Visibility Brigade banner drops, John Lewis Good Trouble Day, Social Security birthday party for featuring Ron Wyden, Federal Workers Support Days twice, Labor Day Workers Over Billionaires events and featuring labor leaders in September. We created supportive and social events, Coffee, Tea, and Sympathy in January, Riot Art monthly since March, Mocktails, Cocktails, and Talktails, bi-monthly ongoing event at Taproot. We researched, compiled, and sent out about 20 upcoming events emails. Thank you, Vicki. 40, sorry.
40.
Yeah, fostered relationships with elected local officials and their staffers, city council, Marion County Dems, the state senators, and representatives. At a national level, U.S. Senator and Reps Wyden, Merkley, Salinas, and their staffers. We lobbied members, elected officials at their DC offices and local offices, all those same people. Supported the immigrant and refugee populations. We have a kick-ass immigration work group. Fostered relationships with immigrant-led organizations, Mano a Mano, Luz, Salem for Refugees, PCUNE. We printed thousands of Know Your Rights cards. Numerous members trained as human rights observers and those other trainings to support immigrant communities. We participated in rapid response activities. We hosted a fundraiser for Mano a Mano's emergency fund in July and raised over $1,700. Most recently, we hosted Comfort and Joy, a jam for the pantry. Hope some of you were able to go. We raised over $4,000 for Marion Polk Food Share last December. We wrote thousands of postcards and letters, Ides of Trump in March, Robes and Reggae, postcards to swing states, letters to A.G. Rayfield and Governor Kotek. We built coalitions with 17 progressive groups, encouraged organizations to join us, and either participated in trainings or promoted and attended trainings, including multiple Know Your Rights, de-escalations. We had participants at the Invisifest in June. Vicki attended. There was a Coinvention in Salem in June. Many of us attended. A resistance boot camp in Portland in the fall. Marshall Gantz ACLU training in November. Human Rights Observer trainings. 1 Million Rising trainings and resistance labs with Representative Jayapal. Whoa, I missed one. Protest puppets in the park. Anybody participate in protest puppets in the park? That was in collaboration with the art department in May.
Yeah.
So
everybody do this.
Do what?
Now do the, right, see, there's an example. Everybody raise your hand in the air. Now cross over your body to your other shoulder. Pat, 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 pat.
Very
pat.
good.
Good job, everybody. That was a lot of work. The thousands and thousands and thousands, literally, of hours represented in that incomplete list, right, of everything, whoops, that we did in the past year. So when people ask you, gosh, it doesn't seem like Salem Region Indivisible is doing anything. Now you can say, this is what they did in 2025, partially. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to spread the word about the work that we are doing and help people feel like there are things happening and that we are resisting and we are standing up, we are fighting back and trying to do what we can to save democracy. Okay, so just to give you a really brief understanding of what happened at our quote unquote summit, as Tom said, Kathy, Tom, Dustin, and I did about a 2.5, 3-day meeting that was entirely self-funded. We didn't use any SRI funds. We just want to be clear about that. Because the place that we stayed at was kind of nice, so we want to make sure that that you know that we paid for it. And over that period of time, we did a lot of reflection about what we've been experiencing over the past year, and a lot of projection or prediction about what we think is going to happen coming in 2026. So National has made some predictions about, National Indivisible has made some predictions about what they think is going to happen. I just want to make sure this is me. Okay, cool. I want to make sure I'm not taking somebody else's presentation here. National has said that they expect to have at least 3 more large No Kings level demonstrations in 2026 leading up to the midterms. Now they said that before Renee Nicole Good got shot in the face, and then people turned out all over the country. So we can't know what's going to happen, but planned demonstrations, we believe there will be about 3 more. Probably not until March or April, just because of weather in parts of the country not being very hospitable, although people have come out no matter the weather. And they are hoping to grow by at least 2 million each event. So the last event that we had, we believe we had 7-8 million or so nationwide. The next one they want to have 9 million. The next one they want to have be 11 million, which is reaching very close to our 3.5 threshold of sustained protest that leads to regime change, peaceful, nonviolent protest. And then up to 13 million ahead of the midterms. Because they want the message to be unmistakable, right? That we have surpassed that 3.5%. Again, we don't know what 26 is going to hold, other than probably more brutality and more ramped up activity by the administration, more cruelty and all of those things. And, you know, I feel like I'm gonna cry right now. Last year's been hard, and we acknowledge that. It's been hard for all of us. And that's in part why we didn't do much in December. We did our fundraiser for Marion Polk Food Share, and we were exhausted, and we all just kind of pieced out for the rest of the year. And now, you know, now we're back. Hopefully we've all had a chance to rest and have some time with family and recharge our spirits with the things that are important to us and the reasons why we're doing all of this. And now we can come back and hit 2026 with the resistance that it deserves, and making sure that we take care of ourselves along the way too, right? And take time for self-care, because that's important. And, you know, we want to be successful over the next 3 years. It's hard to believe that we have 3 years to go, but if we do our job in the next year, the following 2 years are going to be a whole lot different to live through than the first 2 were. Okay, so knowing that that's what National predicts, we talked about what our goals are, what we see steering's goals that we can make for the organization. We will need more input to be able to refine those goals and maybe even change those goals as we go, because I think part of what we've all learned is we have to be a little bit nimble in our response. We can't have like a fixed mindset that this is the thing that we're going to do, because situations change, and then we have to change our tactics to respond to the changing situation. But as much as we can predict, we know that we will be aligning with National Indivisible on midterms, and we want to take back the House and the Senate. We have a midterm guide that Kathy has really kind of become, so far anyway, our most knowledgeable expert about what we can and can't do in the midterms, because we have questions, you know, we've always had questions about, we're not a 501c3, we're not any kind of a legal entity, actually. So we don't have the limitations against political work that a 501c3 might have. That's part of the reason we haven't pursued that. But there are some things, because we are affiliated with this national organization, so there are some things we have to be cautious about. So we're going to be working on that. And we have people who've already expressed an interest in helping with it. Angie, one of our person who has often been in a position of leadership on various projects with Indivisible, is interested in taking a leadership position in that. And so we welcome anyone who's interested in working on that. It's really, really important that we expand our organization membership and infrastructure. And to that end, as we shared, we have expanded our steering group, anticipating an expanded membership. And we will hopefully also be expanding out our work groups, the ones that are already functional and working, hopefully getting those built out a little bit more robustly, so that the leaders in each of the work groups aren't feeling too overburdened and exhausted, so that, you know, everybody has as much help as they need. And then getting some of the work groups that so far nobody's really taken the lead on, or there just hasn't been a lot of momentum behind, but, you know, trying to like get some life going in some of those as well, so that we can do the things that the membership says they want us to do. We can't do without the membership, though. We need help with all of that. And then continuing to build coalitions, because we need them, and we did a lot of work on that in 2025. It wasn't enough, even though we did a lot, and we need to do more in 2026. And so that'll be another thing that we see as key, and National Indivisible also sees as key to being successful and saving democracy, frankly. So. All right, so we'll have plenty of time for question and answers. We've got like 20 minutes for questions and answers a little bit later. So as we go through all the topics, if you think of something you want to ask a question about later, if you're like me, you should write it down. And if you're young, maybe you don't need to. Okay, let's see. So member survey. I don't know, Dustin, do you want to talk about the member survey and why we wanted to have people do the member survey and all of that?
Sure, I can talk about it.
Okay.
You want me up to the front? Yeah.
That would be good, so Zoom room can hear. And the recorder can
If you
hear
come
it,
over
too.
here, you'll be recorded. Yeah. I mean, your
Oh,
voice will be recorded.
over
whenever-
here.
Yeah. If you know, like right here.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dustin. I am part of the steering group, events and campaigns, recruiting and onboarding. I might do other things here and there. So
He owns the stage.
I tend to bring a trailer out to the bigger rallies. So the recruiting and onboarding group has been working on developing surveys. And one of the big surveys that we've been pushing out over the last month or so is really to try and get at what people are interested in, what skills they might have, what kinds of talents they can bring to the group. Because we want to start organizing folks into categories of interest, so that we can expand our work groups. We have a whole bunch of work groups that, well, I think Vicky started with kind of out of a recommendation from National at the very beginning. And we kind of split into these work groups, and some of them took off and some of them just kind of fizzled out and didn't do anything. But we've definitely expanded our reach since then. So we're hoping that by having a committee that's actually working on identifying people's interests and trying to bring people together, that we will be able to start creating these active clusters of people who are working towards the same goals and organizing in specific areas. So if you haven't filled out the interest survey, I don't know what we're calling it when we're sending it out.
We have a member survey, and that's for people who are members about what your interests are. And then we have a new member survey, not confusing at all.
Yeah.
That is more, it's longer. It asks more in depth about people's interests.
So
No, actually, I'm sorry. The new member survey is actually just 3 questions, right? You
Right,
revised it, yeah.
yeah, it's the other way around. So the new member survey is basically, what keeps you up at night? Why are you interested in Salem Region Indivisible? The member survey is, once you're a member, what are your interests? So if you haven't filled that out, we would recommend it. Is that on the QR codes that are on the table?
Yes.
That's the survey
And if you need help, with how to access a QR code on your phone, we have a whole group of young people over here who would be happy to circulate through the room and help you.
It's nice to volunteer people. I would also be willing to help you with that. I'm not the youngest person in the room by far,
Yeah, we can help with that.
but yeah, if you haven't filled that out, highly recommend it. Would really appreciate it because we want to try and start getting people together. Because we want this organization to expand and to be more effective in a whole bunch of different areas. So
Yeah.
um,
Gotta do it.
that's it.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Okay, so I think that's done. We're done with old business, I think, and now we're on to new business. That's the QR code. You've also got it on those sheets of paper on your table for the member survey. All right, new business. I already talked about Nationals predictions, right? So at least three more big events, nationwide events, increased enforcement from the current regime. And then individual communities' activism is very important because only our community can respond to our community. Something that gets dictated from a national level may not actually fit what our reality here in Salem is. And so that's what they're saying as well, is that of course each community needs to respond to its own unique circumstances in its own ways, as well as having the big events. So that's pretty much what national thinks is going to happen. And then, do you want to come back up, Dustin, or you want me to just say it? Okay, so we're changing how we do meetings. We now have, as we alluded earlier, we now have a space and a set time. The second Wednesday of every month will be in this building, probably in this room, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And then the last Wednesday of each month, we will have a Zoom meeting from 6 to 7. It might stretch longer if it needs to. The purpose of the in-person meeting, so in the past, what we've done if it's your first meeting, you might not know how we've structured them in the past. In the past, we have had the work groups report out at our monthly meetings. And that kind of takes some time. And it seemed to us that the membership was appreciating, if not requesting, more speakers, more trainings, more things like that for our in-person meetings. So that's what we're going to try to allot most of our time at our in-person meetings to, is to invite someone coming. I believe we have the ACLU coming next month. I haven't finalized that yet, but I believe a representative from the ACLU is going to come and talk to us about what we here in Oregon can do. At least that's what I asked for them to talk about. They may have other ideas. I don't know. And then for the Zoom meeting on the last Wednesday of the month, that's when our work groups will report what's going on with them. So we'll have a 1 hour or maybe a little bit longer. If we can get all of our Zoom or all of our work groups going, then the meeting might end up being a little bit longer. But that's one of our goals for 2026.
And then if you couldn't be there on Zoom, you'll be able to watch that on YouTube for the Zoom one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could probably work something like that out. Yeah. Or, I mean, yeah, maybe YouTube with a password or something. And then there will always be a Zoom option for the in-person meeting too, just so you know. That's a hybrid thing, but we encourage people to come in person. Kathy, do you want to cover local, state, national elections?
Sure, I'll do it too, but no.
So
I can do that topic in 1 minute.
in 1 minute, that's right,
2 bullet points.
that's right. So as you heard, National is going to make a recommendation, an endorsement. They don't just pick a name that they want, that Ezra and Leah, who are the leaders of National Indivisible, they don't just pick a name. So it's a process, looking at all the chapters throughout the United States. More information on that will come. But I just wanted to stress that it's really important to vote. in every single election, no matter what's on the ballot. If it's one, bill or something, please vote. Get in the habit of voting. Make sure you're registered, everything is correct. The other thing to know is the post office changed rules. No longer can you put your ballot in a regular mailbox and expect it to be postmarked that date. The best thing to do if you do that and you don't trust the ballot mailbox things, go into a post office, ask them to hand stamp your ballot,
Can cancel.
can cancel. Otherwise, it's not going to count if it's on the day of the election, past that. So that's one change to be.
Vote ahead of time.
Yeah, vote ahead of time, but please, I mean,
Yeah.
I know there's been times I go, oh gosh, I gotta go take this. I usually
Yeah.
use the ballot boxes.
Yeah.
Which apparently will still be valid if you get it in there before 8 o'clock the night of the election. Who knows if that's gonna change? Tom,
Aren't the drop boxes they have around town a lot safer than going through the mail?
right, but some people don't know where they are or don't use them, they use the mail. And there's also the people that stand out in the street and you,
Right,
them
that
the
you
ballot.
drive by at the courthouse.
by the
Yeah.
courthouse. Kendra?
I just wanted to say on the voting as many elections as possible. In Oregon, you cannot do that if you are if you are not a Republican or Democrat. So keep that in mind that you
True.
might have to change to be one of those parties
True.
in order to do
To,
this.
to vote in the primary,
Right,
yeah.
And
right,
so you can vote in every election possible, including the primary.
right. Okay.
That's what I
So-
did.
So I went down this rabbit hole today. There are so many rules about what we can do as a group. And so I'm becoming this expert on FEC rules and reporting. We have two sources of funding in our group. We have ActBlue, which is the True Link, which runs through National and down to our chapter. Then we have Cash. If we use the one that runs through National, there is a lot more rules. So we're going to try, if we do anything, to use our Cash to pay for things,
Which means we need more cash.
which means more cash, right? Midterms, National pointed out, are very important because that starts the debates and you start to peel back the layers of the candidates. So make sure you pay attention to the midterms, make sure you vote in those, like Kendra said, make sure you identify yourself with a party if you're comfortable doing that. Elections coming up, May 19th. Mayor, 4 city councilors, repealing the gas tax. Very important election to pay attention to. Do research. Because people you think you go, oh, I like them, or they're a party you affiliate with. That doesn't necessarily make them the best choice. Do your research, right? Then in the state, there's a governor. There are 15 seats in the state Senate, 60 seats in the House,
Okay.
plus labor commissioner. So all of those are very important roles. Make sure you pay attention to that. And I mean, you're not going to vote for 60 representatives. You're going to vote for the ones in your district.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm trying to think of what else we have. Oh, COIN is Consolidated Oregon Indivisible Network. They have a legislative team. I signed up for that and went, I'm going to do this. These people are up here in their knowledge of what's going on with legislation. And I went, oh,
Hardcore.
yeah, I am like out of my realm, but I want to know what's going on. So I keep in contact with them and I'm on their email list. If someone were interested in that, and I'm talking, they do a lot of research, a lot of professors at universities, please let us know and we can have a person actively participate in that group. The other thing is.
And I think they'd love to have more people in our area because we are the capital.
Right. Right. The other thing I would like to see is one of our work groups is legislative tracking. I think, is that what it's called?
Well, legislative tracking, I think we probably partner with COIN, but maybe
But
elected
I want to change,
officials.
I want to change the name and I would like people to join it and I would like to have an active group to do some of this research and share what they found with other members. So keep that in mind and be watching. I'm also going to start to post in that group, which may change its name may change its name very quickly. But I'm going to post the endorsement guide from National so people have access to it and they can read it because it's a long document, has some information in there and things as I find them, or Angie, who's been very interested, will post in there for you to all to have access to. Kendra?
So if you did want to join the group, how do you do it? That coin group?
It's a,
Like, do we let you know, or how do we let you know?
let us know, and then we will be the bridge
Like, do
to,
we let you know on Slack or email?
Yeah, you
or-
can.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Dustin?
Probably the best way to let us know is fill out that interest survey.
Well, yeah, that would
There's
make,
like a
yeah.
legislative piece in there, just write down what your interest is under legislation.
Nice.
Yeah,
So another kind of fun thing to think about, for those of you it's first meeting, you don't know that right through that building, or right through that area, past the kitchen, is another room as big as this, or maybe bigger than this, with a stage. Little stage. It's not a very big stage, it's like, you know, a stage. But we could host debates. And we could do it for free, as opposed to city or the Chamber of Commerce that just had a debate between Virginia Nordyke and Julie Hoy, and they charged for it. You had to pay to see it. So that, you know, if we have people who are interested in maybe setting up some, you know, forums, speaker forums, candidate, you know, like whatever, we have to pay to use that room, you know, we'd have, but it's something that we could
something
do.
that would be worth it.
Yeah, it would be worth it. I like that. Me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would the debate be open to the public then?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that would be the point. I mean, I think,
Yeah.
but I'm not the
Should be.
boss, as I always say, I am not the boss.
Yeah,
I love the idea. It should be open to public.
right. We'd have to see what the room capacity is, but I think it's fairly high.
That's true, but yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, we could have overflow. We could show it on this screen in here if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
All right. So if you have questions, again, we'll have some time for questions and answers coming up here. So we talked a little bit about this as well, expanding SRI leadership and infrastructure to accommodate the growth. Again, we have a steering group that we've now expanded. We consider leadership to be the steering group and members of work groups who are in leadership in those work groups. So like Anna Rose is the leader of the
Immigrants.
immigrants and refugee support, but Martha helps her with that as well, and Kathy helps with that as well. So, you know, we would consider pretty much the people who take, doesn't have to just be one person, I guess is what I'm saying. And yeah, so basically, we are a meritocracy, I guess. People who step up to do the work are the ones who find themselves being asked to do more work, basically, who find themselves in positions of leadership. I mean, honestly, like I often find myself in a position of leadership, but I'm not interested in being a leader. I just have ideas and I want to do stuff and I want to get stuff done. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I guess I'm the
You're born
one.
later.
Yeah, I guess I'm the one who's leading the ideas or whatever. But so that's how it works. If you have ideas, we're going to ask you to do something about those ideas. And then also, one of my dreams, and I've been wanting to do this for a couple months now, hopefully it will get done pretty soon, is to create kind of a help wanted list of things that we could have people engage in. For example, we're going to need the way our email list and all of that is structured right now is going to have to change, because we're just running into too many problems with our emails being blocked. So we're gonna, it just makes sense maybe to expand that responsibility into a bit bigger group than just me, because so far it's just been me. Nobody has access to any of your emails but me. But it's probably going to have to change because we've gotten so big and we have to get big and we have to get bigger. So, you know, we'll probably need help with that. I would love to have a group of people who take on figuring out who our list of speakers for the year is going to be, to get that roster scheduled. We've already identified the people we want to ask. it's, you know, just somebody having the time to sit down and send out emails to all of those people, see if they would like to come give us a lesson or, you know, give a presentation. We could also have, like a hospitality group, right? That sets up our table at our meetings and make sure that people, maybe we kind of have an informal group who does it now, but you know, we could add more people to it. It would give more people a job to do because the people who do it now have plenty of jobs to do. And it would be a way, you know, for more people to feel like they have a stake in our organization, which we want everybody to feel that they belong and that this is their organization and that they're an important part of it. And we need all of you. So, yeah, so that's kind of part of our goals for 2026. And then Tom is going to talk to us about expanding our membership and some of the ways that we are going to do that.
I am?
Yes, you are.
Dave's right there. Must be.
If you say so. You know, they have a bunch of ideas for how to expand our membership.
Well, I mean, email contacts, website, social media presence,
Yeah.
that's all you.
Yeah,
So I don't want to
So-
talk about that.
what she said, sorry? Oh. Oh, shit.
Do-si-do
Yeah.
on the.
So yeah, we are going to continue to do what we've been doing with social media and the emails and all of that. We do have a new person in social media, Felix, who has come along and just blown up our socials. The numbers are like through the roof. We're super lucky to have him, and we've been working with him, and he has millions of ideas, and we're gonna really, this is gonna blow up this year.
Yeah.
Can I just say, can I tell you a funny story that you don't know about you? I mean, it's not about you, but it's about me. So we went to that Marshall Gans training up in Portland with the ACLU. And part of the exercise was like to brainstorm ways we could like do things. We had to like create a project. And I said something about, well, maybe we could get some influencers to, you know, like put the word out for us or whatever. And, you know, okay, look at me, right? And the 12-year-old who is like, does grant writing or whatever for their nonprofit looked at me and goes, oh, you know some influencers, Vicki? And I said, yes, I do. I know a couple of goofs.
Little bit of an inside joke, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know how many couple of goofs followers there are in the room. How many people follow a couple of goofs? You should follow a couple of goofs. But we do have a website, we do have a YouTube channel, all of these things are gonna expand, and the one thing that I think is gonna help a lot is we discovered recently that our email domain is being blocked by a lot of different servers out there, so we are going to very quickly convert all of that to some sort of email marketing program like Constant Contact or MailChimp, you know, one of those probably within the next few days. So after that, we might need help with that as well, once this young lady releases the keys for that.
Controls.
Oh, letter writing, postcards, all of those things we'll continue to do this year, but also musical events. We had a really cool one at the end of December, and it was so much fun. It raised a lot of money and super successful. So I think I will see us doing at least one or two more of those this year. I already have somebody committed to perform. Anybody heard of Ty Curtis?
Woo, good
He's
job.
already said he'll do it. So
Excellent job.
Yeah.
Very
that's it.
cool.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom.
Yep.
Is there a calendar on the
Uh,
website?
Funny thing you asked.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a calendar on the website. It doesn't look great on mobile, looks great on a desktop, but not much I can really do about that, but that calendar is updated every week.
Yep.
All the events that's in Vicky's email.
That's right.
Yeah, so if you can't find my email, go to the website, salemregionindivisible.org. Sorry, SRI.org was taken.
Yep.
So you gotta type it all the way out. salemregionindivisible.org, and yeah, there's a calendar there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Tom. Dustin, do you want to talk about coalition building?
Not sure entirely what you want me to say about coalition building.
We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. So, I guess just a little history for those that don't know, when we first kind of started, shortly after I became involved with this organization, probably March. And then in April, I think it was by like
I think
mid-April.
second meeting, I think it was February.
Is that when I got involved? Feels like it's been longer than that.
I think it was February.
So we set a goal to try and start building coalitions with other like-minded groups. And so Vicky and I hosted a meeting with about a dozen different groups.
I mean, SRI hosted, but Dustin and I were the
yeah, sorry,
MCs or
that's-
whatever.
That is more accurate.
Yeah.
We hosted a group of about 12 different organizations, and a few of them kind of stuck with us and have been to most of our rallies, and they turn out people and they set up their own little booths and that kind of thing. Sometimes they speak for us on our stage and that kind of thing. We want to continue expanding that. At our retreat, we talked about, we've had other indivisible groups from around the region, from over at the coast, that we have made contact with or that have reached out to us. And so we had this idea that we were going to expand partly by just bringing those groups together. We have a couple of different ideas about how to do that, but we came out of that retreat, and as Vicky said, then we all kind of were like, let's take a break. And so we kind of stopped, and somebody actually beat us to it. And there's an invitation out there, and I think it's not this coming weekend, but the next weekend.
The 25th, I think.
Something like that. There's a meeting in Albany of different regional SRI indivisible groups. And so some of us plan to attend that. I think just to kind of try and get everybody on the same page, and possibly just swell our numbers at different events and that kind of thing. So
Kathy's also interested in getting a Mid-Willamette coalition for endorsements going. So we can work together on endorsements that we have, makes sense to work together on. Yeah. So, and, providing platforms for coalition partners, as we have done with the I think three times we've had a stage at an event now. No Kings and Labor Day. No Kings, Labor Day, and No Kings. We've invited people from other organizations to share the stage and share their message and whatnot. So we'll hopefully be able to keep doing that as well. Yeah. All right. We are so behind schedule.
we don't have time for questions and answers.
We will take the time for questions and answers, though. Kathy, would you like to give us a treasurer's report?
I'm going to tell a funny story about coalition building. Can you remember when it was? We were contacted by East Lynn Indivisible, which isn't in Lynn. I mean, it's Lebanon. Is East Lynn Indivisible? And they contacted me and they said, would you please come to our first meeting? Because we don't know what we're doing. I went, okay, drove out to Lebanon, found the place where they were, 75 people. And I kind of went, oh my, what a great, And they have been a solid group ever since. And they're like this little pod of blue against all the red farmers and agricultural. So yeah, that's how powerful, and building those relationships is important. Treasurer's report. We have now a little over $6,000. About 50% of that is in our Act, well, it's not Act Blue, it's called TrueLink when it comes to our debit card. And then about 50% is cash that we have. I have a lot of dollar bills, and I always feel like I gotta, shoot them out that way. So things that we've spent money on in the past year were, we got supplies for the peace team just regularly. Another upcoming expense is we're gonna put identification logos on it because we found out at No Kings 2 that people didn't know who people were sometimes that came up and sort of intervened and were trying to be peacekeepers. So we want to have identification for those people. We paid rent, liability insurance, buying the refreshments for the meetings, art supplies for riot art and other activities we've had, general supplies, though I need to talk to someone because she does a lot of poster printing and she never puts in her receipts. Everybody give her that. Submit your receipts, please. So we are in a solid place right now. And I want to say, I really appreciate all the people that donate, and you can do it through Act Blue. It's not that Act Blue is bad. It's just that there's some restrictions about what you can spend your money on, or cash donations at events. That works too. I'd like to pretend I have a lot of money. I don't. So, but it makes me feel important for a minute. The most exciting thing is the Grow Grant, which is about building a chapter. The number of people is reopened for 2026. They've changed the format. The form is way longer, and I kind of went, oh my, but we as a chapter could apply 2 times in the next year. You do a project over 6 months, so need to develop a theme for the first 6 months, but we can apply for up to $2,000.
So that's a fund that National Indivisible makes available to groups.
Right. So that sounds like a lot of money, but the first request that I'll write the grant for is probably about what, half of it, Tom, would go to the MailChimp, whatever. Yeah, so, but that's building our organization. And so thinking of other ways to build the organization. People have ideas, that would be great. I don't think I have anything else under treasurer.
Okay, cool. Yay, thank you.
Big thanks to Kathy for taking care of that. That's a hard job.
Yes.
I other organizations, and anyway, oh my, there's a lot of rules and a lot of reporting.
Kathy says she's been a treasurer in other organizations, and when she saw all the rules and everything, she was a little taken aback. Just letting the Zoomers know what's going on. Okay, we have arrived at questions and hopefully answers. 20 minutes. I think we should just go ahead and take the 20 minutes as long as people are able to stay. Is there anybody who has to leave right at 7:30? Do you have a question? You can go first.
No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sorry we went long. Just kind of the nature of what we're up against.
The in-person, I've observed.
Yeah. A lot of our meetings do. So anyway, so do we have any questions? Kendra?
Since we do run long, can't we make a 2-hour window instead of an hour and a half?
No.
Just to accommodate the faster we run over.
Well, we have the space to run over. It's not like we get kicked out. It's a matter, I think, of people's capacity to have a longer meeting in the evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like we get kicked out.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was just saying for the sake of being fair in the fact that to acknowledge it, that's all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll get as many questions answered as we can. Okay,
do we know when the next human rights and rapid response team training is
It's a
going to be?
Zoom question.
Yeah, I figured.
So, I do not know. I think that the immigrant and refugee support group probably would know the answer to that, but Anna Rose just had to exit the Zoom because she might have been able to answer that for us. I'm really sorry. But
There is a Zoom meeting on Monday.
Kathy says there's a Zoom meeting on Monday night for the immigrants and refugee support work group. They're going to meet Monday night from 6 to 7, I believe, on Zoom. You,
I was told 5 to 6 on Zoom.
you're right, 5 to 6. I'm the one who made the Zoom thing and I didn't remember. But yeah, from 5 to 6 on Zoom. And if you need the Zoom link, you can find it on Slack or email salemregionindivisible@gmail.com and I will send it to you. More questions? Kendra?
So is Coinvention happening this year? If so, where? And how do you join the leaders of it ahead of time so that if it's in Salem, I can go, but also make it the most accessible as possible?
So you can contact the COIN leadership and their website is coinoregon.org, coinoregon.org. And they have like a contact us link there and you can contact them and just let them know that you're interested in that. I haven't heard anything. Coinvention was an event that happened in June. It was 2.5 days or something. And they had people come in and do various workshops. And people came from indivisible groups all over the state to Salem, which they determined to be kind of central. We had it at the Willamette Heritage Center. So I haven't heard anything about that happening this year, but it could.
Well, okay, because I want to be, if it does, I want to know ASAP so that I can get in there and be like, hey, I had a less than perfect experience last year, let's change it.
I think you should give them that feedback anyway. So I would get in touch with them and just give them that feedback and let them know that you'd be happy to consult.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And early as possible, I'm sure will help them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I posed that question
Yeah.
here because I think
Does-
it's the best place to ask it.
Dustin,
I just wanted to make an announcement before we completely wrap up, and that's that, as long as my phone doesn't ring in my pocket, anyone who is struggling with using Slack, if you've been invited to Slack and you're struggling to figure out how to find work groups or how to use it at all, I'm happy to kind of stick around and help the best that I can. I'm not a tech expert.
Yeah, I'll do a little tutorial too on it, so.
Tom.
I also want to say before any of the, especially for the new people, before you leave, that there was a lot of new people here today, and a lot of the people who normally come to this meeting are over at city council chambers for a budget meeting. So if they had been here, this room would have been packed. I just want you all to know that these meetings would be a lot bigger if it weren't for that, and in the future they will be, as long as you all come back, so please.
And like anybody who's willing to have somebody sit on their lap at the next meeting, they need to know who you are.
I just have an acknowledgement and a recommendation. First of all, I want to acknowledge all 4 of you on the steering committee for your amazing leadership in 2025. And congratulations on getting 3 new members. I also want to make a recommendation. I think as a general member, some of us would love it if you do make that we need your help specifically doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I think that to get engaged, we need to see a specific list of the things that we can get engaged with. I know the work teams are our option to get engaged with those, but I'm talking about other tasks that you have. You could include it in your weekly emails.
Yeah, as soon as I have time to think up the list, I will do something like that.
Put that on your list, somebody to think of.
Yes, exactly. So I would like to thank Nancy for being one of the founders of Salem Region Indivisible, along with Linda and me and Kathy. And is there anybody else here tonight who was one of the founders? Yeah, so thank you, Nancy, for your just continued support. And Handling that. Handling the.
I had Greg, and then I'll get this table and that table.
Well, if you run out of questions, if I could just have maybe about 2 minutes to make a pitch for the PhD team
Yes,
when you get done.
yes.
Oh, okay. Felix.
Riot Art is this Saturday. You know that? The Riot Art, the cool community event. You have any questions, ask me.
So Felix is just reminding people that Riot Art happens this Saturday. If you would like to go, then you should email riotart@salemregionindivisible.org. If you haven't gone before, but you'd like to go this time. And it's an opportunity for us just to get together and do some fun stuff. You don't need to have any artistic skill, I promise, whatsoever. We've got projects you can work on. You can bring your own stuff. People bring sewing projects. They bring sometimes I bring bookbinding type stuff that I do, and they crochet and knit and
Yeah, and there's, yeah.
and make buttons. We have a button maker. You
Button
make
makers. And this particular session, we're going to kind of carve out time for a conversation about any interest in doing more bigger projects and really making more of a campaign out of a project. So if that's sort of interest to you, this would be a good meeting to attend. It is Saturday from 11 to 2. And it's held at McKay High School. But please, if you haven't been before, email riotart@salemregionindivisible.org and let us know that you're coming.
Yeah. The protest puppets in the park was supposed to build to like those really big puppets that, you see at things sometimes. And we're too busy doing other stuff to get there.
We just kept having to have protests, so it just got out of the way.
Never had the time to do it.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, and I don't know your name.
No. How old is this group? What's the?
No.
So we
1 year, I think.
at the end of November of 2024, 8 women met at Life Source to start the group.
I needed to know that because I'm a history buff.
Okay, so what happened was all of us independently had freaked out after the election and contacted Indivisible to say, what can we do? And we didn't have the group that had been in Salem during the first Trump administration had disbanded or dissolved, or we've never been able to find a trace of them really, except on Facebook where they won't answer our requests. And so Indivisible put us in contact with each other. They said, you don't have there's no group in your area, but we invite you to start one. And so we said, okay.
And we might need an archivist, so just throwing that out there.
I mean, that list was kind of my attempt at that, at trying to capture all of the work that we've done.
So
Huh?
the postal thing, I added a date, it was a question mark.
See, you are built to be our
I think you're
archivist.
born to be an archivist.
So, yes, Tom.
What's our procedure for endorsing local and state candidates? How does that work?
Yes, Kathy's gonna figure that out for us.
So need to clarify some things. Monetarily, we shouldn't be doing it. We can do in kind. I thought at first I was gonna have to do FEC reporting, and then when I read, it was like, no, they have to do it. They have to claim it. Thank you, whoever wrote that rule. But, so I'll find out more, and then like I said, I'll post things I find out. I will post in what's now legislative tracking, probably call it something like an election and legislation, whatever.
Okay, thank you.
But Tom, if your question was, how are we going to select who we endorse? I think that's a TBD at this point. We haven't really determined it yet.
Yeah.
But if you have interest in participating in that, then, and you're, if,
I'm strong.
okay, you have opinions. All right, that's fine too.
It's big.
I could think it too.
Any more questions? Messing.
It's more a suggestion today when we were trying to come in. it was not a response to the bell. And we lost, I think, I was looking around, we lost about 4 people who didn't want to wait around.
Oh, good to
So,
know.
you know, it's just, that's.
Yeah, do you know
It's that.
what time you were ringing the bell?
That was that last group. I guess.
6.
Okay. Well,
Huh,
we
okay.
normally do have somebody at the front, but, and it's Danette usually, but she was, not well today. And there was a little bit of a gap, I think. We mostly had people at the door, but there might have been a
But
gap.
thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that through I mean.
Help
about,
wanted.
Help wanted.
Help wanted, yeah.
Yeah, help wanted, but
That's a great suggestion.
that way if somebody does get sick, then it can be posted and someone else can.
Oh, yeah, okay, should we, so can we do the raffle really quick while Greg tells us about the safety group?
I want to talk a little bit about the peace team. We made a pretty simple plan that adequately addresses all that we can do as citizens to keep our peace at our demonstration events. And we are keeping the police as a fallback. What we don't want to do is have police keeping peace at our events. We want to do self-govern. To avoid, and we want to, at the same time, we want to make sure that none of our team members wind up in harm's way. Numerous opportunities are going to be provided for de-escalation and human rights observer training. But just as important are the monitors that serve as the eyes and the ears of the peacekeeper teams. At most of the rallies, we have sponsors that have been exceptionally few encounters with counter protesters. We don't want records requiring police to keep the peace for us. Most of our efforts are preparedness, and we want to be ready to respond in an organized and effective way at the first sign of any trouble. If you're interested in being part of the peace team, make sure you sign up at the peace team table back there. And we're going to have a meeting on Saturday, the 17th at 2:00 right here. And at that point, you'll be able to pick out what role you want to play. There's a number of different roles: monitors, crossing guards, and peacekeepers, human rights observers, and de-escalators. So there's a lot of different jobs that you can do. And most of the people, if you're a monitor, the main training you'll get is operating walkie-talkie. But at the meeting on Saturday, it's primarily to introduce ourselves to each other and get to know what jobs are available, and you can sign up for what job you want, and we'll make sure. 5, 7?
No, the meeting is 2 to 4.
2 to 4, yes. From 2 to 4, and we should be able to get everybody situated where they want to be. And we want to make sure that people know that even if you're a little bit disabled or you can't do marches or something. I had one of my friends was who worked at the No Kings 2, is a stroke victim, and he brought his wheelchair and sat down there and wore the vest, and people thanked him, and he had a great time interacting with the people there, and he, at the same time, he was able to keep track of what was going on around him and report back anything that happened by radio. So even if you're not physically able to get around a lot, you can still be on the peace team. Okay, that's all I got to say. Yeah.
Right.
Saturday. This Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Saturday, the 17th, from 2 to 4.
Yeah, that would be a Saturday.
And Jean Nicholas is very interested in the peace team, but won't be able to be there this Saturday. I told her I'd let.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so any more questions? No? And who wants a Slack tutorial? Please raise your hand. Okay, we have somebody on Zoom and we have at least one person here, so.
Thank you, everybody.